Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Chakadash, which those names need to be exalted. Okay, and double honors to the apostles and elders of great Musa rule well and lead the flock by example always. And shalom to the elect out there, the nation of Israel, scattered abroad, man. And I wanted to go into this this article. Okay, on the Spectator, it says, needless money printing fueled inflation. This is dated 18th of May, so that's about that's about 3 months ago, 2.5, 3 months ago. All right, it says some £500 billion was printed by the Bank of England during the pandemic, a staggering sum that caused a very little public debate. Those skeptical about the so-called quantitative easing argued that it causes inflation, and indeed it does. Why? Because as with anything, the more you flood it, the more you flood the market with something, the more you have of something, the more its value drops in economy, man. Okay, if you have more abundance of fiat currency, which these are just these are just paper notes, IOUs, if you will. They mean nothing. They're debt notes. Okay. When you look at the notes, it says, I promise to pay the sum, the bearer. I don't know if it's got it on the new ones, but on the older ones it does. And pretty much what people used to do is, okay, let's say, because real wealth, according to the scriptures, let's get that quick precept in Genesis 13. Real wealth, okay, real money in the scriptures is gold and silver. Okay. This is Genesis chapter 13, verse 2. It says, and Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. Okay? That's the main forms of currency. And if you look at gold and silver today, which they're really manipulating the prices of it. Okay? But you can see that in times of economic woe or in times of uncertainty, people want to know anyway, always invest in gold and silver, man. And like with how Apostle Tar has put out there many times, hey, get some silver if you can, or get some gold if you can, and if get some silver, okay, if you can't. And because in this time that's coming, man, that's gonna be really worth something when these fiat currencies are pretty much worthless. Now all this money that they're printing is causing what? Inflation, man. And what is that? When you go to the supermarket, when you go to the store and you go to buy your food, people are thinking, oh, well, they're rising the prices. I used to pay this much for milk only 2 months ago, 3 months ago, but now I'm paying, almost a half more. That's not because the prices are going up. That's because the purchasing power of the currency you're holding, the money you have, okay, is weakening. All right? And why are they doing that? The reason they're weakening the currencies is because everything is going digital, man. They're getting ready for the Great Reset, okay? And it's all part of the prophecy, the main prophecy that we're waiting for in Revelation 13 and 16 to verse 17, which is talking about the mark, man, the mark of the beast, okay? Now, this debt that they keep increasing, all right, this is gonna lead to, and it's already leading to people striking. It's already leading to uproars of the people, and it's gonna be even worse, man. All right, let me go back to this article because I think there was a point that was made. Okay. It says, I'm going to jump down a little bit. This is from Mervyn King, who was the former governor of the Bank of England, right? He said, one of the major problems, Lord King said, was that the bank went too hard and too fast with its money printing. Government stepped in and put in a lot of money for furlough schemes or raising unemployment benefits. And there was a lot of loans given out. Okay, a lot of these loans were given to these banks, okay, these high street banks, and they're owed back, man. Okay, and a lot of them are going to default. Okay, mortgages. You got the Bank of England raising the interest rates. Okay, that's going to hit what? Homeowners. Okay, on the mortgages. If they don't own their home outright and they've got a mortgage going, okay, once that if they're on a variable rate, they're already messed up. But now if they're on let's say they're on a fixed contract, a fixed rate as they call them, okay? Some of them you can fix it for 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, whatever, 1 year, okay? When that fixed contract runs out and they go into the next thing okay, they're going to notice that they're not getting the same interest rates. The interest rates are going to be higher, so they're going to have to pay higher, man. That means rents are going to go up. Now, if people can't pay the rents, there's going to be homeless people, more and more homeless people, because they can't afford the rents, or people that are, what's the word, man? You know, when they're lodging illegally, okay? That's what's going to be coming, man, to this place. And if they can't pay, and then they default on the mortgage, okay? Now you can't get the money, okay? Or if your tenant ain't paying and you ain't getting no income from nowhere, now you're messed up. Now you're trying to sell, okay? Now you're trying to sell in a market where all the other buy-to-let mortgage owners, okay, all the other landlords are trying to sell too, okay? In an economy that's crashing. So that's what's coming to this place, man. All right. The 2008 market housing crash that happened in America. Okay. You got economists that pretty much were coming out and saying that was going to happen. Okay. They're coming out and saying that this is going to be way worse. Chaos. All right. It says the problem was that the central banks also printed a great deal of money, and that wasn't needed. It put a lot of money into the system. Why? Because it was on purpose. Okay. This is by design, man. This isn't just like one person and he doesn't know what he's doing in his job and they're just not firing him. No, this is a cabal. Okay, this is a bunch of people together working together in a conspiracy. All right, and you know they don't want you to say that word these days. Okay, and you try and say that word. You try and talk about the international bankings, dynasties and families. They don't want you to speak about that. Okay. Under classical economic theory, when a lot of money is put into the system, as it has been in the UK and in the US with the Federal Reserve printing about $4.8 trillion, inflation follows. Okay? Now, let's go to Habakkuk 2 and 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now, when you look into that word clay there, okay, in fact, let's go into it. Let's go into the blue letter. What's that? Habakkuk 2. Right? You're thinking of the clay, like you get clay from the earth. Okay. But when you actually go into the word, it means something else. All right. And we're going to go into that. The word there is ibachat. Okay. It says weight of pledges, heavy debts, okay? Because this is a debt-based system, okay? They call it debt-based slavery, all right? That's why everyone has you get a bond on you, okay? You get a birth certificate which shows who owns you, okay? When you get that, you now become a part of a corporation, which these countries, okay, are nothing but corporations, okay? They're just businesses that are owned by the international banking elite families, man. Okay, they own all the resources. They've reaped everything. They're the ones that are covering themselves, okay, with all the riches, okay, and got everyone else in debt, man. There's that famous saying, how'd it go, man? Now, I'm roughly paraphrasing. It's like gold is the barter of is the currency of kings, Silver is the currency of I think like that nobles or gentlemen or whatever, and it keeps going down until it gets to the point where it says debt is the currency of slaves. All right. And everyone's in debt, man. Everyone's got everything on debt. Everyone's got credit card debts, mortgage debts, loan debts. Okay. Every Tom, Dick and Harry on the street has got a brand new plate car because, mainly you see Jake doing that. Okay. You saw, even if they can afford a really good car, they're really trying to get something that's going to last. Okay. Jake want to look flashy. So, what do? They go out, they take out these crazy loans. Okay. And when they can just get an A to B car and they get a crazy car, okay, an expensive car, okay, and then everything's going to crash. All right? Everything's going to be all messed up, man. And then what's that car going to be used for? Nothing, okay? Because you're not going to be able to put the diesel or the petrol in the car. You ain't going to be able to afford it, all right? And that's if there even is diesel or petrol in the petrol stations, okay? That's even if they're coming in. Okay, because you're going to have the truckers that need to bring it in. They might just be on strike, or they might just be not doing that no more. There might be blockades. There's going to be martial law, man. We know that's in the scriptures. So that's why there's uproars of the people everywhere, man. All right, let's get a quick precept on that. showing you what time we're in. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 3. It says, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and we're seeing that everywhere, Panama, Sri Lanka, all over the world, man. You're seeing strikes over here in the UK. Okay, you're seeing people up in the uproar all around the world. Why? Because the wicked are in rulership. That's the people are mourning. It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Why? Because it's prophecy. All the things that are happening now, all the things that have happened are of prophecy, man. This was prophesied this was going to happen. And the elites are really squeezing this because they're looking to bring that new system, man. And you know what? I'm going to read that. The system that they're bringing. You got to know this what it is, man. This is Revelation chapter 13 verse 16. It says, and he calls of all. So you know what that means? Meaning it's going to be made mandatory. Okay, they're going to make it by law. Okay, and another thing, if you ain't taking it, you against it. Eventually, they're going to start putting people to death, man. That's what's going to be happening, man. And it says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And that's that digital all, man. That's what they're bringing forward. Okay, that's why you got the whole Great Reset system, because they're looking to bring that down so they can bring in a new system. Okay, that's what this is all about, man. Okay, that's what this is all. This whole system was built to collapse. Okay, this whole system right now economically is set up to drain the resources of countries and the people. Okay, debt-based slavery, wage. That's in James the 5th chapter. Okay, and eventually it's just gonna become the new system, man, that they're gonna implement. All right, but all that ain't gonna mean nothing, because why? Because it says James 5:1, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right, so these elites, ultimately they're going into slavery. Okay, and the scriptures say that what's that in Isaiah 60? Let me get that quickly and I'll come back to this, because I can't remember the exact wording of the scripture. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 11. Therefore thy gate shall be, actually let's start from 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. Because we're going to get the heathens to build up our kingdom. And their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. And who's the mercy on? Israel, starting with the Lord's elect. Okay, because in the kingdom, man, we're going to be the nation of kings and priests. We're going to be above all nations, man. We're already above all nations, okay? Deuteronomy 7:6, but the Lord's actually going to make it manifest where he's going to take the curses off us, put the blessings on us, okay? Where we're going to be complete rulership over these people with a rod of iron, man. All right? It says, therefore thy gates shall be open continually. What does that mean when the gates are going to be open continually? They shall not be shut day nor night. What happens in the gate? People bring in their stock. They bring in the gate into the town, into the city, into the palace. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Okay, so they're gonna bring in everything in, man. All right, all kinds of riches. Okay, we're gonna be getting the best of everything. But right now, man, the wicked are in rulership. James chapter 5 verse 2, your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. And who's the laborers? The Israelites, okay? We're the ones that reap down the fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. And that's talking about the Lord of the hosts, the Lord of the armies. Okay, not the Lord of the Sabbath. Okay, that's not what that means. And what do? They used to have us in hardcore chattel slavery. Okay, so they paid us no wages. Now we get little wages, a pocket full of holes, man. Haggai 1:6. Okay, debt is debt. It's just debt, and it's barely enough to survive. All right, it's really just it's like an illusion, man. That's what it is. These talismans, these monies. It says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. All right, and that's how these elites are living. But you know what? That's gonna get flipped on them. That's going to get flipped on them real soon, man. Okay? And everything's going to get flipped on this society, man. Okay? And you know what? Throughout all of this chaos, we're going to be looked after. Yahweh Shmi Shai is going to look after his own, man. All right? So we just got to keep having faith and praying and increasing in the spirit. So, hey, Lord willing, that was an edifying lesson, just a quick one. And with that, man, I'm going to say shalom.